Hey guys, welcome back. It's Tommy, and after quite a long break I decided to come back here to this channel and try to be as active as much as possible. So we're going to start straight with an all Zerg engagement here in between the two pro players, an all international engagement here as they're spawning here on Waterfall. We have here in the upper right, in the red, it is SCARLETT from Canada, and her opponent here spawning in the lower left in the blue, it is SOO from South Korea. So quite an interesting matchup, an all Zerg matchup here on Waterfall. Let's have a look if there is going to be a difference into the build order, as the first overlords are just scouting out here the map, and by the looks of it, both players going here for a fast expansion. Or are they, SCARLETT, actually opting not to go for a fast expansion? You can see the production tab here in the upper left bar, just in case I'm missing something. So the build order here from SCARLETT quite different, as she's going straight spawning pool first and then expansion. I guess she wants to harass SOO a little bit with the first Zerglings, perhaps to inflict some damage here into this expansion point. We're about to find out if this is going to work out for her. Gas is also being added, so she also wants to upgrade that Zergling speed really fast, and there is the expansion, of course, a little bit more delayed than SOO's expansion. So we have a difference already. Faster spawning pool for SCARLETT than SOO's. So these games have been played quite recently, 2023. I don't know the exact date, sadly. I also don't know the tournament. I will be also adding some new Starcraft Remastered replays from 2023, as I found a website out there, but sadly with not pros like Flash, Biswa and Jadong, just common pros with above 200 APM. And yeah, let's just see how that is going to work out for the channel. Probably not that many views, but then again, there are recent replays, there's quite many of them, so I'm going to be trying once again to be as active as possible here onto this channel. And yes, SCARLETT is scouting the expansion. Her first Zerglings are moving out on the map. There's this expansion also almost being finished. The first queens are also out here, and the first Zerglings are also being spawned. So by the timing SCARLETT arrives here with her Zerglings, SOO already prepared with his Zerglings as well. So the Zerglings are just scouting here the map for SCARLETT. And yes, SOO of course being ready. I don't have that, so let me just pause for a second. I don't have the pop-up gameplay. Should be live bars. Just hold on a second. Targeted always. Let's just have this one on, and just to see those live bars always on. There it is. And somehow the Starcraft 2 has updated on Battle.net, and yeah, some things have been changed, but yeah, it's always good to see those live bars. Now we're back into the game. Looks like SCARLETT is preparing a wall up here with her evolution chamber, and the Zerglings are also here out, but yeah, SCARLETT has many overlords on the map. Same can be said here for SOO, who also has quite some overlords out on the map. And yeah, SCARLETT nicely protecting that expansion with those queens. We have that second expansion for SOO. SCARLETT not ready yet for her. Perhaps she's just going to mass some more units. We're about to find out. Perhaps she's going for a rush with some roaches. It could be a possibility. Let's have a look. I don't see a roach horn. I actually see a baneling's nest here for SOO. And yes, SOO really wants to have vision of what exactly is going on, but SCARLETT is there with her queens to fend this off. So quite an interesting strategic game, of course, we have here. Both players just walling off here with their baneling's nest, their evolution chamber, and no baneling's nest here for SCARLETT. So this might indicate to us that she is indeed going for some roaches, but yeah, no roach warrant yet for her. But we'll actually have a huge mass of Zerglings attacking this one expansion point, so it's mass Zerglings here for SCARLETT, and she's actually inflicting quite some damage. This hatchery is dropping really low. Some banelings will get some connections here. Of course, SCARLETT has to micro back as the banelings were closing in, so nice stuff here by SOO. Defending one baneling, the second baneling is also being sniped, and now SCARLETT might try to target this one hatchery, but she's going for the Zerglings. However, the queens in the back aren't really being targeted, so a little bit of a failed attack. Perhaps she could have sacrificed those Zerglings into this one hatchery, but then again, I'm sure she knows exactly what she is doing, as yeah, now she has to retreat. So the hatchery survives here for SOO. Queens are out. They even might heal it, as SOO is now pushing out with some Zerglings straight into this one expansion point. Some banelings are getting snapped, and remember, Scarlet still not having a baneling's nest. Get out if we can see the roach warrant for her, as we have a good fight here. Some queens are falling, many more Zerglings are pouring in here for SOO. So SOO does quite a nice damage here against Scarlet. Scarlet losing quite some big amount of Zerglings, and those queens have also been snapped, so SOO doing a quite great job here. The reinforcements should pour here for Scarlet. However, Scarlet taking quite some damages into this location here, into this expansion, and the same can be said at home, where she has lost 2 to 3 queens. So a nice game here for SOO, with showing is actually his experience versus Scarlet. But yeah, SOO still only on those Zerglings. I don't see a roach warrant. Actually, he does have a roach warrant, and actually he's going for his first roaches. 10 roaches it is for Scarlet, and now even more, 13 roaches. There are the Scarlet roaches out as she's moving now forward towards this expansion. She might try to snap this expansion. Let's have a look at the workers. Same worker amount. Scarlet being much more aggressive as she's moving forward. Same time, some banelings might get some connections here. Quite a large amount of Zerglings here for SOO as he's trying to punch here forward. Same time, Scarlet goes for this one expansion, and yeah, here come the roaches here for Scarlet, but the expansion has been snapped. So quite a nice attempt here for Scarlet, just snapping this expansion and now retreating worker wise to having more workers, having also a little bit more of an army here versus Scarlet. And let's have a look how things will unfold now. Scarlet finally finishing her expansion, but things look a little bit better here for SOO. Of course, he's finding the courage now to move forward. Yes, those Zerglings, Scarlet having more Zerglings, so she might get a good surround. Exactly why SOO is going for those banelings, and the position actually looking a little bit better here for Scarlet, as she can flank those units left and right. So in comes the attack. Many roaches here for SOO. The banelings are getting some good connections here for Scarlet, and yeah, in the end the banelings from SOO also getting some connections. So quite a balanced game, but it looks like both players having quite the same amount of armies here as the reinforcements are pulling forward for SOO, but it's just a couple of Zerglings, so the roaches should be able to take care of that. So quite a balanced game we have here between the two pros. More and more Zerglings, more and more roaches are being produced, so still anyone's game. Quite an interesting game number one. Very nice back and forward game, also very nice balanced game. But now we do have some Ravagers here for Scarlet. Let's see if SOO is also might trying to go for those Ravagers really soon. But no, he's just staying on roaches, he's just staying into that high ground, and same can be said here for Scarlet, also playing very defensively all of a sudden after so much action going on, into a nice ZVZ in between them. So yeah, worker wise SOO still having more workers. Army wise Scarlet however having more. I mean, and now she's moving forward. Just a couple of group of Zerglings actually, and with some reinforcements. There are the Ravagers, there are the roaches. I believe somehow Scarlet feels that she has an advantage, an army advantage of 10 supply here as she's moving forward. The Zerglings are in the front, the Ravagers in the back are really important here to launch those fireballs in the air, and yeah, getting some good connections. The roaches, the Zerglings also have nicely split the troops here for SOO, and Scarlet is still holding her ground. SOO tries his best here to defend, but it looks like all of a sudden Scarlet having way more supply here than SOO. And yeah, what a great timing push for her. I guess she felt that she had that advantage somehow, so of course her experience showing here, and yeah, she will take game number one. So let's just go straight into game number two. And we're back with game number two. Quite a nice timing push from Scarlet in game number one. Quite a nice feeling for her, somehow knowing that she had more than 10 supply of an army against her opponent. So very interesting move, a very nice experience by her. But let's not be fooled, SOO also having a great experience into Starcraft 2. He's one of the best known Zergs out there, I believe, with more than 3,000 wins on to the ladder in all those years. So very experienced player indeed. Now the spawn queue on Cosmic Sapphire in the upper left, in the blue it is SOO from South Korea, and his opponent in the lower right. In the red she is Scarlet from Canada, but I think she's also living in South Korea, also streaming on a streaming platform which I'm not sure that I'm allowed to say that this is YouTube, and once again I don't see those lines, so apparently something is happening after I restart or I change Starcraft. Let me just once again go for those lines. There they are. Yeah, so here we go. Apparently after the update from Battle.net, something just doesn't work out up here. It just shows me that I have 2 accounts on Starcraft. So yeah, I'm not that very IT minded, and the options also change, the sounds also change. I always have to restart, and sadly it just disappears here with those lines. But we're back. Let's have a look at the build order. This time SCARLETT goes for normal build order, fast expansion, and the same can be said here for SOO, fast expansion into that extractor and spawning pool. So this time both players going for the same build order. Game number 1, SCARLETT with a faster spawning pool, but that didn't really work out. Actually in game number 1 SOO had the advantage, so quite surprisingly for me he lost that game. Let's have a look if things will change here into game number 2 as we're closing towards the 2-minute mark. So very normal gameplay, a very macro oriented game for both players. Looks like the expansion has finished here for SCARLETT. Same can be said here for SOO. Let's have a look if they are indeed going for that second expansion build around the 2-minute and 30-second, 2-minute and 40-second, I believe it was here. So yeah, the queens are being spawned. You can see the production tab, pretty much the same build order actually here for both players. Even the speed has started for them both. So yeah, it will definitely go down into a micro battle, who is more micro intense or who is actually more luckier, because luck also depends into a balanced game. So let's have a look what's going to happen. The overlords nicely being spreaded for both players. SOO sees the expansion, and we even have the same timer for the expansion for both players. As the first Zerglings are arriving here, no Zerglings for SOO here, so SCARLETT decides to be a little bit aggressive, just damaging here this expansion point. And at the same time we might see a first engagement, but no, there's both players just checking out each other here onto the mat, as we see a nice P line being formed here, of course, for SOO next to this debris. And let's just see if it's going to be banings for some of the players, if it's going to be roaches. We're about to find out really soon. The production tab looks pretty much normal. More drones however now here for SCARLETT, so she's going pretty much drone in intensively here, as she's also attacking this one hatchery. So worker wise SCARLETT with a small advantage, 3 more workers. Army wise SOO having more Zerglings, but SOO is being forced to stay at home. Shows that he has banings. SCARLETT is attacking, but is being of course pushed back. So SOO very much more defensively. Let's have a look if he's going to try to move out as soon as the banings will spawn, and we actually have a roach warrant for SCARLETT. So I believe SCARLETT did not went for any of those banings, and now SOO is attacking. Of course he needs those banings in the back, so SCARLETT going for a very risky move here with roaches. Those roaches very tanky. But yeah, nice round here for SOO against this one queen, even getting some connections with those banings. Another surrounding attempt, but there's so many zonings for SCARLETT also. SCARLETT is able to push SOO back, so SOO staying on a Zergling with a banning tactic here versus soon to be roaches here for SCARLETT, and also she has so many Zerglings. But yes, SOO sees no banning, so this very likely will indicate to him of course that it's going to be roaches really soon. SCARLETT does a nice job sniping a banning or two, even going for those drones here, even going for the queen. So she's taking out quite a large amount of that army here for SOO. So SOO already struggling, losing 7 drones here. SCARLETT with a great move out. Now the queens have to heal themselves up, but SCARLETT having some great surrounds. And finally she is being pushed back by those reinforcements, but the damage has already been done. 7 drones have fallen here for SOO. He's going to catch up slowly but steadily. But yeah, now SCARLETT should have the first roaches being morphed. Yes indeed, and there they are. And now SCARLETT all of a sudden has a really great advantage here with so many roaches out. She might even try to morph some Ravagers. SOO tries to force her back with those Zerglings, tries to force some units to stay back, but SCARLETT having even some Zerglings, so she should be able to hold just a couple of Zerglings here for SOO, but the real damage will of course happen here. Some roaches are now finally being morphed for SOO, but we even have 28 more Zerglings being morphed for SCARLETT. So her reinforcements will be really, really strong as she's trying to attack this expansion point. Now SOO having more units here, the Zerglings will fall really, really fast. Indeed, the reinforcements are going forward, but here are the first Zerglings coming forward for SCARLETT. She's able to surround this one queen, going for more and more damage, leaving those Zerglings in the front, and the really damage dealers are of course the roaches in the back. So yeah, reinforcements exactly on time here for SCARLETT. And what exactly does SOO have army-wise? Not that much of an army here for him, as this one expansion even going to be taken out. So once again, SCARLETT having a great advantage. This game might go towards her. She even has 2 Ravagers just in case to back here for some Ravagers for SOO here as well, but he has to pull those drones. So another good sign here for him, pulling those drones as the reinforcements for SCARLETT are nicely pulling here forward. The Zerglings have entered the base here from SOO, and 16 more workers have fallen here for SOO. Things look really bad for him, as SCARLETT does a great job here. And of course this has to be the GG. So SCARLETT taking this series 2-0. Nice gameplay by her. And yeah, like I said, I'm going to be trying to cast some more games in the upcoming days. I will also go to Starcraft Remastered from 2023 from some unknown player games, but I did saw that they have quite a high APM, so around 200-230. So they are not that known, of course, like Beast, Jaedong and Flash, but still should be a quite interesting series, of course. And recent replays from February 2023. I will be writing the date exactly on the thumbnail. I will also add a new bar so you guys can see it. And yeah, let's see if I will be also casting some games out of Jaedong's first person view. We're about to find out if that even works here on YouTube. And yeah, and like I said, I'm going to be trying to be as active as possible now onto this channel. So once again, thank you guys for watching. Thanks for listening. This is Tommy signing out.